Welcome to episode 2 of Brewers Daily, a new podcast here coming at you every single day covering the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm your host, Dave Gasper. You can follow me on Twitter at dgasper24. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page here at Brewers Daily so you can get every single episode as soon as it's uploaded. Never miss a day, never miss any of the content that we got coming out. This brand new daily podcast here. So very excited for it. Very excited that you're here and excited to see this continue to grow as we talk some Brewers baseball every single day because the Brewers are a great team. We just saw 97 wins this season, and it is going to be a very exciting offseason to see this momentum continue and what the Brewers have going into 2026. So how can the Brewers continue to be at that top level? We got an idea from Jeff Passan of ESPN. We'll talk about that coming up here in the show. We also got to talk about the awards voting because we are now in awards week in Major League Baseball for the BBWAA. So we got some Rookie of the Year awards. Those results came out on Monday, and then on Tuesday here we got the Manager of the Year awards, and that's where we're going to start because Brewers manager Pat Murphy has won the National League Manager of the Year award once again, back-to-back years for Pat Murphy. Incredibly well deserved. It's not often that you see this happen. Just prior to this year, there had only been 2 times that a manager has won back-to-back Manager of the Year awards. Bobby Cox in the National League and Kevin Cash a couple of years ago in the American League. But Pat Murphy, once again, wins the award, running away 27 of 30 first-place votes, 2 third-place votes, or 2 second-place votes. And there was one voter who left Pat Murphy off his ballot entirely. A voter from Pittsburgh decided to leave him off. No idea how you can justify something like that. But hey, I mean, I guess everyone's got their own way of going about things. And if you want to put in several teams who did not win their division when they were only expected to win about 70, 75 games, then sure, go for it. But still, going away, Pat Murphy was the clear and easy choice for Manager of the Year, winning it back-to-back years, 97 wins. On a team that lost their starting shortstop, Willie Adames, that traded away their star closer in Devin Williams. You had a number of rookies on this club, a number of young players, and somehow, some way, this group was able to come together. These guys were able to develop and play an incredible brand of baseball and win the division for the 3rd year in a row. So Pat Murphy talking to the media after winning the award, getting off with the conference call on that right now. Murphy was asked about a specific area that maybe he had impact on the team that really kind of helped them develop, helped them win so many games. And in typical Pat Murphy fashion, he said, "Not really." Now, there is no area that comes to mind for him as one that he specifically had this great impact on to help develop. It's so Pat Murphy. He's putting all the spotlight on the organization, the team, the players, what they have done. He wants to put none of it on himself. It's just incredible to see how he's gone about it, and it's not an ego thing with him. He credits everyone else. He's crediting the front office, Matt Arnold, the ivory tower, as he ends up calling it, and he credits the players for the work that they have done, and he couldn't be more right about it. And this is why he's loved by his players. This is why he's loved by the fans, and this is why he keeps on winning Manager of the Year. He's only been manager for 2 seasons. Both seasons, he has won the award. And also, interestingly enough, Stephen Vogt wins in the American League, also back-to-back years, also in his first 2 seasons as a big league manager. So congratulations to Brewers legend Stephen Vogt for winning that award for the Cleveland Guardians and Pat Murphy. So both of those guys go back-to-back. We'd only seen it twice in history, back-to-back Manager of the Year awards, and now we see it in both leagues this season. So just incredible. But that was the awards voting that was announced on Tuesday night here. But on Monday night was the Rookie of the Year voting. And the Brewers did not end up winning the award there. They did have a finalist in Caleb Durbin, but Drake Baldwin ends up winning the National League Rookie of the Year award with 21 first place votes. Caleb Durbin comes in third in the voting. Did not receive any first place votes at all, but he comes in third. Isaac Collins came in fourth. They were very close. There were only about 7 points that separated them. So both of them had fantastic seasons for the Brewers. Chad Patrick finished seventh in Rookie of the Year voting. Jacob Misiorowski also received a vote. He received a fourth place vote, and that was good for him to finish 11th in Rookie of the Year balloting. So the Brewers had four players in Rookie of the Year voting. Just incredible. The number of rookies that they had that were contending. They had a number of options at various different points throughout the year. It looked like perhaps Collins was the favorite. Then it looked like Misiorowski was the favorite. Then you're looking like Chad Patrick is an early favorite at one point as well. Then Caleb Durbin kind of sneaks in there towards the end, and he ends up being the finalist and getting the most votes out of any of them. But really, it was just such an incredible rookie class from the Brewers. And those rookies are why Pat Murphy wins Manager of the Year once again. So it's such an incredible run. I'm not surprised that none of them ended up winning the award. Collins really tailed off towards the end of the season. Misiorowski tailed off. Chad Patrick was sent down to the minors. That really hurt his case. And Caleb Durbin, I think he ended on the strongest stretch, and that's why he ended up getting the most votes of the group. But still, didn't quite have the numbers, didn't quite have the ability to overtake Drake Baldwin or Cade Horton, who ended up finishing second from the Chicago Cubs. But it's still a strong group that is helping this team be successful year in and year out. So how can the Brewers be more successful going forward? Because now you've got the offseason, got a lot of moves that you can make, a lot of changes that you can do to this roster. We'll see how creative Matt Arnold wants to be, but the GM meetings are going on right now, so we're starting to see some rumors pour out. We're starting to see the national insiders, the Jeff Passons, the John Morosi's, the Ken Rosenthal's of the world put out that kind of intel and see where things really are going. And Jeff Passan put this out there today, and it was something that really kind of started things in my mind in terms of what the Brewers could do. It's a very interesting idea. But Jeff Passan, he suggests that in his perfect offseason moves, he suggests that the Brewers trade for Mackenzie Gore from the Washington Nationals, which, I'll tell you this right now, I don't hate it. I do not hate the idea of Mackenzie Gore becoming a Milwaukee Brewer. So let's read what Passan wrote here when he's talking about this perfect offseason. He writes that the reality is that the perfect transaction would probably be to trade Freddie Peralta. Well, he's not entirely wrong there, but we also just talked about in episode 1 here of Brewers Daily how Freddie Peralta, it seems like the Brewers are planning to keep him and he's going to stay put. And as Passan continues here, but the Brewers, after posting the best record in MLB, should add, not subtract. And with a loaded farm system that's redundant in certain areas, they can dangle prospects and target high-end players, particularly with teams whose systems need depth as much as they do top 100 types. So he suggests trade for Washington left-hander Mackenzie Gore. And Mackenzie Gore, he is an incredible pitcher. He was included actually in the Juan Soto trade a couple of years ago to get to the Nationals. He was with the Padres. So that is a big name. He has done fantastic work for the Washington Nationals. And this season, I mean, ERA a little over 4, but also he's on a bad team, so that doesn't really help him. But he put up 3 wins above replacement, and he's someone who absolutely, you get him working with Chris Hook with the talent that he has. I think you're going to see much better results from someone like Mackenzie Gore. But he's been a regular starter for them for the past couple of seasons since making his debut in 2022, and then, of course, getting traded and starting with Washington there in 2023. But he's been a reliable guy in that rotation, making his starts pretty much every single, every 5th day. Still got a couple of years of control left. Still an ascending young player is Mackenzie Gore, because he is still just 26 years old. And that's right around the same age as Quinn Priester and a lot of these other young Brewers starters. So I think it's certainly a great idea. Will the Brewers actually do it? Will they actually pull the trigger on Mackenzie Gore? I'm not expecting it. I'm absolutely not expecting it to actually be something that ends up happening, just because it hasn't been the way that the Brewers operate, and it would require dangling prospects. And Passan does raise a good point that the Brewers do have some redundancy in terms of their prospects, which is also kind of the point in case some of those guys fail, in case you have to trade some of them. It's good to have backups at a lot of those positions in case you have to move on from some prospects. So it is possible. And me, if you're new to this podcast, if you're new to me and my Brewers coverage, you'll find this out as we go along here, but you should know I'm as much of a prospect hugger as anyone. Okay, I do not want to see prospects get moved. I would much rather see the Brewers hold on to their prospects, see what they can end up doing, see what they can end up being. I don't want to, give the prospects away too early and then they end up being studs elsewhere. I think it's much better to hold on to your prospects and see what they can end up doing. So this would completely go against it. And Matt Arnold is the same kind of way. Matt Arnold is also a prospect hugger. And seeing the Brewers trade prospects for a starter like that, for Mackenzie Gore, even though he does have a couple years of team control left, and the Brewers are willing to trade prospects for guys with years of team control. They're not willing to do it for guys with only like 1 year left. Like, for example, even if you wanted Tarek Skubal on the Brewers in his trade market, with 1 year to go, no chance that the Brewers would even entertain that idea. But Mackenzie Gore, he has the years remaining. So the Brewers could trade some of their prospects. Now, the question then kind of becomes, what would that prospect price be? What would the Brewers have to pay for Mackenzie Gore? Because if you're going to get him, as Jeff Passan suggested here, you're going to have to give up some of your prospects in order to do that, in order to make it happen. So if I'm looking at this team's prospect core, because you're not going to be trading your top of the top guys for Mackenzie Gore, like Jesus Made, Luis Pena, Cooper Pratt. I'm imagining those guys are going to stay put, even though it's multiple years of control over a left-handed starter. Those top tier guys are absolutely staying put. So if you're going to move someone in order to get Mackenzie Gore, I would imagine someone like a Bishop Letson could be a headliner in there. Would the Brewers be willing to part with Bishop Letson? I don't know. But you're looking at a Bishop Letson, Luke Adams possibly as a headliner. Braylon Payne could be included as well, but Payne's several more years away, and I think the Nationals are going to be looking for someone a little bit closer to the big leagues. And this is where also maybe you could move someone like a Logan Henderson type. Robert Gasser is one of these young starting pitchers that the Brewers currently have, because if you're acquiring Mackenzie Gore, if you're acquiring a starting pitcher with multiple years of team control, when you already have 8 guys that basically are deserving of rotation spots, and half of them there's not going to be room for them in that rotation, and then you're acquiring another starter, you probably have to trade one of them out. So that's where maybe a Logan Henderson or Robert Gasser could get moved, or maybe instead a Tobias Myers type, a Chad Patrick type could be included in there as well for a ready-made MLB replacement for the Nationals. I think that's something you're absolutely going to have to look at. If you're the Nationals and the Brewers are calling about Mackenzie Gore, I'm absolutely calling about one, maybe even two of that young group of starters. I mean, would the Brewers consider packaging, Tobias Myers and Chad Patrick, or Myers and DL Hall, for example, in order to facilitate a deal? That's, I think, something you'd have to look at if Mackenzie Gore is going to become a Brewer, as Jeff Passan suggested. Now, again, I don't actually believe this will end up coming to fruition, but it's a fantastic idea. I do not hate the thought of Mackenzie Gore being on the Brewers and working with Chris Hook as his pitching coach. I think that would be a great way to tap into the immense raw talent that Mackenzie Gore has. And I think it's a great organization for him to maximize his talent. But it would be an incredible prospect price to pay. And it would cost you some of your other young starters. But again, if you're getting a 26-year-old proven MLB starter with still a couple years of team control remaining in Mackenzie Gore, I think that's something that the Brewers would absolutely consider. But time will tell as the offseason goes along. We'll see if the Nationals are even willing to part with Mackenzie Gore this offseason. But that's where it's the GM meetings. It's the magic of the offseason. You don't know what'll end up happening, what teams are actually willing to part with. So that's the magic and the mystery of it. And we'll keep it covered. If there's any news that does end up coming on this front, we'll be talking about it here on Brewers Daily every single day, Monday through Friday throughout the week. And we'll have all your great coverage that you can expect here every single day. Very excited to bring it to you. So again, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Brewers Daily. Follow me on Twitter at dgasper24, and we'll have extra continued baseball coverage there that I always have provided. So I appreciate you following me there as well. And we'll be back again tomorrow for another episode of Brewers Daily.